You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Ding! Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. It is a free fall Friday. Yeah, we're in free fall now, folks. The intensity of stupid, the intensity of anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-liberty, the intensity of anti-intelligence is off the charts. What a week. I mean, between all things professional and all things SHTF, look the hell out. I hope you have had a good week. I hope you are fully prepared. Man, hey, first off the bat, Sunday Night Live. We'll be here live, folks, live. Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. You'll probably be recovering from alcohol poisoning Saturday night, so don't give me this. I'm too busy Sunday night stuff. Anyways, whatever. I'm glad you're here, and I'm asking you. No, wait a minute. I'm actually begging you, please help others get prepared. If you want the Prepared Mind Network channel to be part of that, that's great too. Whether or not you choose me as the vehicle for helping people find facts, find truth, find philosophical, intelligent ground to stand on. It doesn't just do it, right? For the love of God, do it. I mean, let's just start off with that. Oh, by the way, get your questions in. It's free for all Friday. It is a free fall Friday. And we will do me, you. We're going to go back and forth, shotgunning information, questions, and thoughts. But speaking of, for the love of God, the Oversight Committee Chairman, Representative Republican Comer, he is going to finally initiate contempt of Congress proceedings. Which means he's still not doing it. If Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, doesn't turn over Biden documents in 4 days. So not only is he giving him a fat if, he's giving him another 4 days. Fuck him. Do it. For the love of God, for the love of country, for the love of humanity. Just start the proceedings now and let Christopher Wray hurry up, hustle his little ass off and get together with his people and get the documents out there. Let him be the scared one. Congress, every person in Congress who has asked for information has been more than polite, more than patient, more than kind, more than understanding, more than accommodating. Folks, there's a difference between having a government job and truly representing the people and kicking the shit out of bad actors in government and bad actors in corporate life. Am I making sense? Ooh, man, am I making a lick of fucking sense on this? I'm getting the head nod. It's rather crazy. I hope you like the program I've got. It makes the palm trees look like they're swaying in the wind. It's a neat little effect. Actually, it's a sequin Hawaiian shirt, folks. It shimmers, it glimmers. And anyways, I'm sick of this bullshit of, if you don't do as you're told and do what I say, in 4 more years, I just might do something about it. We're 2.5 years into Biden's administration. 2.5 fucking years. We had 4 years of stonewalling during the Trump administration. It's been 7 years since, that's right, Hillary Rodham, the piece of shit Clinton, did her Russia collusion hoax information in order to keep herself out of jail and discredit Trump and take away from America a president who could have been far greater. 7 years ago, she started this shit, and there's still zero accountability. John Durham, folks, is out there. He is out there. Special counsel John Durham. Guess what he's going to do on June 21st, which is 1 month from now, over 4 fucking weeks. On June 21st, also the first day of actual summer, the summer solstice. On June 21st, He's going to come to Congress, and he is going to testify about Hillary and Obama and the Trump-Russia hoax. Will America be ready? Will America forget? Now, what pisses me off is again him 4 weeks plus for the mainstream media to lie, come up with more bullshit, dismiss things. Hell, John Durham may even end up with 2 or 3 bullets in the back of his head in what would be known as a great tragic suicide. Folks, and when this hearing comes, if it comes, expect a lot of dogs to bark their heads off. Rah, 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 Jim Jordan. Rah, 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 Matt Gaetz. Rah, rah, rah. Bobert. Rah, 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 Marge Taylor Greene. Rah, 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 Comer. Rah, 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 rah. Bark, 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 bark. But they will have their leashes yanked before they can bite anyone on the ass. I am going to say 99.5%. I think there's a 1 in 200 chance that somebody gets in trouble. And then that trouble, how bad is it? You're a very bad person, Christopher Wray. We're going to give you an official censorship letter that goes into your record. Won't affect your retirement. Won't affect all of your future jobs where you can screw over America. Won't affect anything, but you should feel very bad. Shame on you. That's what a censor is, folks. A shame on you letter. An impeachment is a little more. The son of a bitch has broken the law. There needs to be a lot more going on. All right, I think I've said enough to warrant more from you guys. What is important to you on this Friday? Are you prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine? Do you know that 10-mile world that's right around you? Are you ready? Are you ready for the stupid, folks? And I'm going to get to some stupid that is galactic in nature. And I'm not talking about the Galactic Federation of Light, for Pete's sake. I'm talking about galactic stupidity, which consumes the universe. All right, Mr. Ooman Jolene in the house today on this Free Fall Friday. And I don't know, even Tom Petty's like, dude, you guys are beyond free falling. What is it you want to talk about? Ooman Jolene, who is up next? And it is our good buddy, Mr. Mikey G. He says, what is up with the Congress spending the weekend at their continuity of government designated bunkers? Warning, warning, warning. Warning, Will Robinson. That was the title of the video that got canned by YouTube. Yesterday, for some reason, the morning broadcast would not upload for love or money. That was not going to load. Yeah, they're going to going to their continuity of government bunkers. They're getting, satellite phones. I don't know what's up with it, folks. Am I highly suspicious? I'm suspicious of both the stories and the need for satellite phones. I'm suspicious about members of Congress in the House and the Senate of actually spending the weekend at their continuity of government bunkers. I am wary and suspicious of any story coming out about government and its actions. I don't trust the government, and I don't trust the stories about them. I don't trust them to be real. I don't trust them to be half real and sprinkled with horse shit. I don't know what to believe, Mikey. I just know that if something bad happens, this is what I do know. If something bad happens, the government's involved. Period. The government is involved. That's a great question you ask. It's a simple question. What's up with Congress? What's up with this? Why are we getting reports of this if it's not true? Are they trying to scare us? Is this bullshit? Is it more crap that they want to pile on our heads? Are they trying to ruin your weekend, Mikey? Everyone else? They trying to make you scared, paranoid? You want to know what to do? Get prepared. You want to know what to do? Enjoy your life. At some point along the road here, folks, and it's a long frickin' march down that road, At some point down it, we're going to come to a crossroads. And one of the forks won't be available. The fork to freedom, prosperity, and peace will be blocked off, and we'll be forced to take that turn right to Shitsville. And then you'll be in it. Right now, we're like a turd circling the drain. At some point, we get sucked down right to the sewer, folks. Right to the SHTF sewer. Okay, thank you, Mikey G. Thank you, Uman Jolene. Stand by. I'm going to talk about some shit here, and then we'll get back to more comments, questions, and thoughts from the inner circle on the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. Where do we go? I mean, I've got some big things here, folks. People, folks, who have reputations, they're starting to risk it. Now, elected politicians typically are lawyers. Typical lawyers, they're willing to say and do anything for a paycheck, right? So they choose politics, they get elected, and they'll say and do anything to keep their power, keep their job, and keep the paycheck coming in. They're supposed to be willing to take arrows and sling arrows on behalf of their constituents. But other people have to earn what they have the hard way. The hard way. And so when they stake their reputation, their lives, their families, their fortunes, it means a hell of a lot more than some snake oil salesman, carpetbagging, soul-selling, stealing piece of shit lawyer out there. So here's an example. A superstar boxer is how he's described, Ryan Garcia. Folks, he has gone after Target in a big way and their demonic clothing line, right? He's risking everything. Nobody has to continue to let him box in their little boxing league. No, he's risking everything. He is. He has this to say, right? Shame on Target. They pulled that artwork, and I think it's filthy to even think of it as artwork. A bunch of pictures of Beelzebub, satanic type creatures. They pulled that artwork in the kids section because they see nobody is falling for the demonic attack on the kids. They are innocent. I got kids, and I'm not going to let that just be done. At least I'm not going to be quiet. And then he quotes Matthew 18, verse 6. That was one of his. Shame on Target. Oh, there's so much more to this than you can believe. He continued. He says, we really live in a world where people defend this stuff. The mob is real. He says, the fake accounts coming after me is hilarious. Bring up all my faults. Go ahead. I know God is with me. Y'all don't strike fear in me. He's staking his reputation. He's staking his life. He's being attacked personally. If you think they're not going after his boxing career, you're nuts. They are. Now, he continues, folks. Once again, he says, since we are on this topic, these are the things that we are facing. He says, I'm not standing with the Dodgers either. That's the Los Angeles Dodgers, who want to have an anti-Christian, satanic bunch of trans drag queens come to their stadium on Pride Night. It's not just political or religious expression. What these people are doing and allowing at Dodger Stadium as part of their show, it's beyond disrespect. It is blasphemous to a degree that even non-Christians would go, hey, you're taking that too far. Now, in Islam, all you have to do is put a caricature, a cartoon figure of Muhammad, and you'll get your head cut off. What they're presenting as a parody or an insult slam on Christianity makes anything said about Muhammad pale in comparison. So Ryan Garcia says this type of disrespect, mocking Christ, mocking Christians, mocking all that's good, this type of respect is not allowed anywhere else. Just crazy. Anyways, what is good, though, in all of this, folks, is that Christians around the country are saying that's enough of this shit. And they're starting to fight back and punch back. Good. It had to get this bad. I mean, they've been attacking kids for years, and finally America's like, hey, you've gone too far. Truly, they went too far, folks, 20 fucking years ago, much less 20 minutes. Let me continue with people who have reputations and what they're saying and doing. Do you remember an actor named Ricky Schroeder? Ricky Schroeder. He starred opposite of John Voight in a movie. He kind of kicked his career off, got it started. He was also a television actor. I believe Silver Spoons. He played a little rich kid. Anyways, he did a series of coming out, not of the closet, but Ricky Schroeder decided to tell some facts about Hollywood that he suffered and dealt with as a child. Now, this is not going to be so bad that people are going to run out the room with their hair's on fire screaming. But it is awful. It is awfully awful, I guess is the way to say it. He did an Instagram video. And he started by talking about a family member who served under George Patton in World War II. But then he switched. He switched from talking about his uncle into talking about the government in Hollywood and the corruption that's just rampant in America. And he talks about when he was a child actor, and he says, I was hanging out with the older guys, and somebody popped into a cassette tape. Someone popped a cassette tape into a VHS player, right? A videotape. Someone put in a videotape. It said they had some sort of ritual where they took out a knife and cut him down the side, meaning whoever was there. It was his right side. They took out parts of him and blood started flowing and they were chanting. He says there were women there and they took off their clothes and then they took the blood and they smeared it on their bodies and started to be sexual with each other. It was quite disturbing to see, right? Schroeder said the adults that he was with, the older guys, handed him the cassette tape at that point. And he said he took it to somebody he knows that he trusted. He took this tape to somebody he trusted. He said, so we watched it, I guess meaning together. Then this trusted person said, he said, never to watch that again and give it back to whoever gave it to you. He said, so I did that, but I was always confused about why they didn't ask where it came from. He says people gave that to him, right? And he thinks that they were cult members and that it was given to him to try and bring him into their group. He refers to them kind of as the Illuminati, but he makes a connection, he makes a claim, right? That the reason that justice isn't served, that the reason this country is so morally corrupted is because groups out there are groups and government members belong to them. This evil cult, and that they own everybody. Doesn't this or does this not sound like something that you could tie to Jeffrey Epstein? That you could tie to Clinton and her Maria Abramovich blood ritual witch? Doesn't it sound a lot like that? This giant Hollywood ceremony where politicians and Hollywood actors sat around and ate fake cadavers. They had people stick their heads up through tables and made it look like their heads were on plates, like their heads were severed and put on plates while they ate fake body. There was a cannibalism ceremony, and that there were vats, literally vats of blood with body parts in them, even though it was all fake. And this was just a few years ago, folks. Just a few years ago. So Ricky Schroeder says, we have no accountability or justice. It could be because these people who are supposed to bring us justice and protect and defend the Constitution are corrupted by this cult, which I believe exists globally, but it especially has roots in Hollywood and in the environmental cult and in industry and politics. And he did everything except name names. And I wish he had named names. I wish Madison Cawthorn had named names. I would hope that Marge Taylor Greene names names, as does Matt Getz, and everybody who knows who belongs to this filthy cult. We're in free fall right now, folks. We're in free fall, and people like this boxer guy, Garcia, and Ricky Schroeder, who's a no-name celebrity now. But they can be destroyed. They can be taken down. They can have what they already have out there can be taken from them, and what they could have in the future can be taken from them. But they're no longer being silent. They're no longer being quiet. They're no longer saying, yeah, whatever, I'll mind my own business. The people are standing up. People like you and me are boycotting Target, Bud, Ford, Nike, Adidas, Dick's. Name the company. Coca-Cola. What are you doing in this fight? Do you think you can idly sit by and hope that the whole thing just passes by and goes away and you'll be fine? So that in 5 or 10 years you can stand around and go, oh yeah, man, I was part of that. Or you're going to fucking do something. The more of us that actually do something, the faster we can get through this shit and to the other side and rebuild our country. The last thing I want, folks, is to build a Salem witch trial and go after witches. We don't have to go over and look for witches. They've already told us where they're at. They're in DC. It's not about creating some puritanical screwball system to live under. It's called just justice. We already have the rule books in place. It's called the Constitution. We just need it to be fucking enforced. All right, enough of my rant. It is the Friday free for all discussion. It is now your turn. And I hope you are shocked out of your shoes. Ooman says, are you going gray, man? I mean, gray they? To a LGBS celebration wearing that shirt. Gray man, meaning to blend in. I'm not going to an LGBS celebration. That's for freaking sure. What I will be going to is I will be going to relax on this 3-day weekend as much as humanly possible, man. This is a very loud, ridiculous Hawaiian style shirt. And I like my Hawaiian shirts. You guys have seen me and, of course, my brother Jimmy. And I don't know if Roger's worn one in his life. But anyways, I like these kind of shirts. They help me to relax. I see that I can see it right now on the screen, and it feels good to look in the mirror. It's great. It really is. I think that we should all still love life and live life. But folks, let me describe to you the life of a fighter. Be it boxing, MMA, Shotokan karate, someone who fights. In a 24-hour period, they will train for hours. They'll sleep for a lot more hours. They'll do some recovery, relaxation. They'll enjoy life. But for several minutes, they will get in a fight with somebody, right? In a boxing ring, not in a legal fight, you bunch of fucking snowflakes on the left. They'll get in a boxing ring and they will put those skills to use. When it's time to fight, you fight. When it's not time to fight, you can enjoy life some. And certainly you spend a lot of time training, but enjoy life as well. Fighters don't fight 24/7 and they don't train 24/7, right? They don't. They don't. Enjoy life. And yes, this is a very loud shirt and I love it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Uman. Let's do another one. Let's have some more fun. And Wise Wolf says, I've been watching John for over 12 years. Keep up the great work. You, my friend, are amazing because I've only been on the air for 10. You must know me personally. Anyways, I really appreciate that. I think I know what you're saying. You've been here from the beginning. And I, too, lose track of how many freaking years it's been. The only way I remember is it was Christmas of 2013, which seems like an eternity, a lifetime. Folks, from the time you're born till the time you move out of your house, 18 years. Well, at least in the old days, men moved out of the house. 18 years. I have lived a child's life, the length of a child's life here on The Prepared Mind with you guys. That's how long I've been here with you and how long you've been here with me. And I want to thank you guys for sticking out. It does. It feels like an entire lifetime of going, what the hell? Get ready. What the heck was that? Get ready. Here it comes. Get ready. And here we are. Here we are. Get this, folks. Bud Light for Pride Month is sponsoring events all over the place. Despite the fact that Anheuser-Busch, InBev, their market value has dropped almost $16 billion because of the Dylan Mulvaney fruitcake beer can. Folks, we knew it. We knew it. You and I, we knew it. They are not sorry. They don't care about real America. They don't give a shit about American values, freedom, liberty, justice, truth, and the American way. What they care about is people who want to bang each other in the butt, making them feel welcome. Why don't they get on their own welcome wagon and go to the welcome barn and grease each other up and keep it inside, away from the rest of the world? No, that's not how they are, folks, because there's an agenda behind it, period. An absolute perverted, disgusting agenda, and Bud Light doesn't give a fuck. Now, as my good friend described to me, this is a marketing campaign. It's cost them $15.7 billion at Budweiser alone to push this sick, perverted shit. And America? America's not changing its mind. I'm not changing its mind. In fact, it's continuing to piss more and more people off. That's right. Early in the week, some store, some chain of stores through the Midwest tried selling Budweiser products for 99 cents for 24 of their shit beers. And people were not buying it. They have so much of this Bud crap that no one wants that they're sending it back and it's having to be poured out. Fuck you, Anheuser-Busch, and screw you, Bud Light, and woke movement, you can kiss my ass. We know that these companies don't care. We know they're willing to sacrifice themselves for their agenda. And it did mystify me years ago when YouTube started canceling channels left and right. And people were like, you know what? If you're not going to pay us for our content, we're out of here. And they're like, we don't care. Fuck you. Go away. We're YouTube. What do we care? And I thought they're screwing their shareholders over because they're losing money and they're willing to lose money and it's hurting their investors. That right there, folks. That right there, I believe, is an SEC violation. Security and Exchange Commission violation. They're screwing over their shareholders for their agenda, which has nothing to do with a profit. All they're supposed to care about is running a company, their company, properly and making a profit. It's not about profits anymore, folks. It's about changing America, fundamentally changing America the same way that, douchebag Obama wanted to change America. Oh, I could go off. I'm actually being very nice. I'm being very polite. Yes, I am. I have some big World War III stuff to talk to you guys about, by the way. But let's do this. Let's get to one of your questions, comments, thoughts. Who out there wants to be up next? And it is Charles Gentry. He said the problem with today's society is not enough people still drink a celebratory victory drink from their enemies' skulls. In other words, when you defeat your enemy, right, you don't just do it a little bit, you do it a lot. You go all the way. And you pull the Conan the Barbarian, you crush the enemy. You don't engage the enemy. You don't try and defeat them, you crush them. Right? You crush the enemy. And you see the enemy driven before you. And you hear the lamentation of the wokes. Right? You hear them crying and whining and sniveling, and you enjoy the shit out of it. You crush them, you make them run away from you, and you listen to them cry like babies. That's what is best in life. Thank you, Charles Gentry. And then drink a celebratory drink. That's right. Enjoy your drink, folks. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your victories. Make them happen. You don't politely defeat your enemy and then allow them to get up and regroup and start fighting you again. You crush the shit out of them. That's what needs to happen to every woke company. And there's a lot of them, folks. There are a lot of them. Now, this is an important one, and I sent it to Jolene. It's very important. In EU Parliament, someone said that cerveza bug was an act of biological warfare perpetrated on the human race. It was a financial heist. Nature was hijacked and science was hijacked. And I can't tell you anymore. Hopefully, Jolene puts the link to a very good website that does a lot of vetting. It's a huge, in fact, it's a Gateway Pundit link. It's a Gateway Pundit link. That's right, folks. Someone had the guts in EU Parliament to stand up and say these things. And Gateway Pundit is now having more people watch it than watch Fox News. Did you know that? That's how big the internet is in our alternative news sources. How many thousands and tens of thousands of people come to the Prepared Mind every day, yet YouTube will hide it? How many other little channels out there have great production value, awesome content, and they are hidden away and then lied about? How many of us? Well, Gateway Pundit has their own website, and they have not been stopped. The left has attempted to sue them, terrorize them, lie about them, screw them over, crash them, yet they keep coming back. All of these websites that do that provide news that the mainstream media ignores, we get as much or more attention than Fox, folks. They've put their head in the toilet and they have flushed themselves. Flushed themselves. Good. Good. I tell you. Now, I'm going to go to this one because it's that important. Folks, Europe, Eastern Europe, is a bunch of unstable nitroglycerin ready to explode. Unbelievable, folks. The Polish military wants to intervene in Belarus in case of a coup. In the country, the Russian Federation Republic of Georgia, they're being told, you need to take military action against Putin. What? That'd be like Russia coming over and telling Iowa they need to take action against Washington, D.C. It's like, what? And Russia, folks, says, well, Ukraine, it's about to end. So let's start with Georgia. Georgia. Years ago, there was a problem in Georgia, Russia, with Chechens. Remember the Chechens? It was really, folks, a bunch of Islamists that were being used by the CIA to destabilize that region. So now, once again, somehow Georgia or the elements within Georgia are being told to stand up to Putin. Why would they want that? How does that benefit the people of Georgia? Very interesting. Now, let's go over to this. Poland is ready to defend Belarus in case there is a coup d'etat, an attempt to replace the government. Now, who is Poland defending? Are they defending the Belarus government that's in place? Or would they say that they're going to defend the CIA-backed insurrectionists, just like Ukraine had CIA-backed insurrectionists in Ukraine in 2013, 2014, right? Oh, by the way, Russia sent nuclear missiles into Belarus today. What does that do? How does that help? Well, folks, Russia can jump back into Belarus anytime they want, instantly, to protect their missiles, which they are ultimately responsible for, their nuclear war heads. And they can keep the CIA from taking control, folks. Russia must have smelled the stink of the CIA, this plot that they have to overthrow the government of Belarus and create yet another state on the border of Russia, aimed directly at Moscow. Folks, Belarus is just north of Ukraine. It's north of Ukraine. And to describe and say, okay, here's the Russian version of propaganda. Russia says that, hey, we're about to end Ukraine. Is this the end of the Zelensky regime in Ukraine? Is that what they mean? How are they going to accomplish that? They're going to assassinate him? They're going to smart bomb his little frisky ass? Does Russia plan on its KGB, GRU, which is their CIA, FBI? Are they planning on staging their own coup in Ukraine and installing their puppet leadership and regime? Or is Russia saying they're just going to nuke Ukraine into a pile of really hot sand? At least Kiev. I don't know what they're really saying, folks, but this is saber rattling on an atomic war scale, because atomic weapons, nuclear weapons, are being involved. Now, trust me, these weapons being sent to Ukraine, I don't think they're the new hypersonic weapons. It's just weapons that Belarus has that give Russia jurisdictional control over everything. Right? It's their nexus to reach into Belarus anytime they want. Their high-tech weapons, folks, are going to be maintained by Russia. Nuclear weapons have been around since the 1940s, certainly widespread in the 1950s, expanding into the 1960s, flourishing in the 70s to the point we almost had, the entire world erased. Nuclear weapons are basically low tech. Basically. Anyways, the point is that both sides are going after each other. I'm not going to pretend like Russia are the good guys. That's not my point. My point is I don't believe the assholes in DC and the assholes in Europe are worth a shit. I really don't think that they give a shit about us in Washington, D.C. Right? Lukashenko, the president or prime minister, the leader of Belarus, right? He confirmed that tactical nukes are now in Belarus. It's not just a rumor. All right, let's do this. Let's take a look at what you want to talk about. Who wants to step up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It's Charles Gentry. He says, if our enemies have any sense of humor at all, and they must roll around on the floor laughing at these pied up whores of wannabe once men that are in DC. And I'm not talking about drag queens. I'm talking about the politicians. Anyways, if our enemies have any sense of humor at all, what would be the best way to sucker punch Americans on, or the best day to sucker punch Americans on? Would go a very long way to demoralizing most of the citizens. I'll tell you which way. If our enemies have a sick or wry sense of humor, or a sense of irony, if you wish. The best day to sucker punch Americans on would be July 4th, our Independence Day. And I would say that the way they would do it to demoralize our citizens would be to kill the grid, the power grid, to kill communications, and then watch every American who wants to pretend like we're still the land of the free and the home of the brave, watch their government go into emergency action and create what? Martial law, curfews, arrests, concentration camps, in order to protect Washington, D.C., and protect the state governments, their continuity of government programs. That would be a way for the rest of the world to go, see, land of the free, home of the brave, huh? Watching all the Democrats, pea-brain idiots and morons out there just go into a hyper tizzy fit because they can't figure out how to live more than 3 days without the government handing them food. That, I think, would require more than just any sense of humor, but rather a sense of irony and, at the very least, a wry, sardonic humor. Very interesting topic. Thank you, Charles. And I think humor does play into what our enemies think quite a bit. I really do. I think that. I think quite a bit of it is they're laughing at America. They're not laughing at you and me. In fact, I have a feeling that the leaders of other nations pity us Americans for having to put up with this shit here. I think that there's a lot of pity for America because they know how great America once was. And they see what's happening to this country. Whether they like us or not, they're seeing what's happening to this country. The same way we can look at a country like, say, Iran and go, wow, I know a lot of great Persians out there. Sadly, we've got this problem with these idiots in government. Same with Pakistan, same with India, China, Russia, same with Turkey, same with Sweden, Scandinavian nations. What the hell happened to them? I pity them. Surely they must pity America. Michael Brown sent in a 556 super chat donation to CashApp. Thank you very much, Michael Brown. I sure hope you've got a question out there coming, and there it is. He says, hello to the Prepared Mind Network. Hope all is well. Thank you, Michael. He says, John, you can never retire in America. You have to be a business owner to protect your assets. You have to beat the enemy at their own game. You're right. You never fully retire. You can't just stop and say, I'm done. I've got a little pile of money over there. It's going to work for me. It's cool. You've got to be on your toes, even as a retiree. Everyone I know that's retired still works. Even if it's just protecting themselves, it becomes a job in and of itself. That's a very astute observation on your part. And yeah, the person that's trying to steal your money, ruin your life, take your savings, cheat you, right? They're your enemy. Friends don't do that to friends. Only your enemies will screw you over. So anyone who's trying to take your money, hello, Federal Reserve. Anyone who's trying to screw you over, hello, IRS, U.S. Treasury, federal government. They're not our friends, folks. They're the enemies of freedom and liberty. And they are, folks. And they need to be beaten at their own game. And I think that's what we're doing now. We're starting to fight back, and then we can beat them. Look what's happening to Bud. They're being beaten. They're getting the beating they deserve. I don't think it's enough. I think a lot more. Anheuser-Busch needs to go out of business. One of the great American icons needs to go out of business. Coca-Cola, same story. Out of business. Ford Motor Company, sorry, motherfuckers, out of business. As much as I have grown up with my Fords, my 65, my 64, my 2000, 2001. Let's see, I had a 1974 brown Pinto in high school even. And I've had a lot of Ford vehicles, love Fords. Not anymore. Fuck them. Fuck them. Thanks, Michael, very much. Now, this is important. Oh, no, you don't. You're not. See this? I'm telling you, they try staking. This was written, I think it was a Wayne Root article. He says, if billion-dollar companies want to commit suicide, let's help them. Right? This is funny. We know the names of the companies: Target, Bud, Ford, Disney. And what I learned a long time ago is never get in the way of an idiot. Never get in the way of idiocy, because they'll take you down with them. They will hurt you. They will destroy you. Don't try and help them. Get out of their way and just let them crash and burn, period. Right? If you see a lunatic running down the street, providing they're not killing people, get the hell out of their way, because they're going to take you with them if they can. Just a little lesson I've learned, some wisdom that I'm borrowing from others. Some wisdom that I'm borrowing from others. Okay, let's do this. Let's get to some more of your questions. We've got just under 15 minutes left to end this show. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to thank Mr. Skylight. I want to thank everybody who behind the scenes, Fuzzy, others. Thank you for supporting the channel, providing information, networking, helping others, because we need to wake the hell up. This fight has just begun, folks. As John Paul Jones said, after getting kicked in his teeth and had his ship sunk anyways, back in the Revolution, he said, I have yet to begin to fight. We've got a long way to go, folks. We have yet to really even begin to fight this fight. Okay, let's see it. Let's take a look at it. Who's up next? It is David. He says, the fringe eventually becomes mainstream. So the question is, when is the best time to kill a black widow spider? The answer, when you see it. Otherwise, yes, fringe will demand to be accepted. No, we'll go back even further. We see fruitcake, we see fringe, we see weird. And we're like, hey, and it says, no, you have to allow us to exist. And we're like, well, okay, but watch yourself, bunch of fruitcakes. And then fringe says, well, now that you see us, now that you recognize what we are, now you have to accept us and allow us to come out. And we're like, hey, okay, you can come out of the closet, but keep it down. So then fringe, that we've recognized, we see exists, comes out of the closet. Then it demands to be accepted. Hey, we have rights too. Well, yeah, you have special rights, or you have regular rights, but you don't get special rights. They're like, we deserve it. And if you don't like it, they start calling you names. And you're like, hey, you don't have to call me names, man. Okay, let's give this a shot. Let's see how this works out. And so something that we finally see comes out, demands to be accepted, now wants to be normal and given special privileges on top of everything else. Well, if you don't, you're a bad person. So we give in, hey. And then it comes back, and fringe screwballedness looks at us and says, hey, what's wrong with you normal people? Normal is bad. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. And we're like, hey, what do you mean ashamed of ourselves? We were here first. We're the normal people. We're the majority. We've been around. We're the ones that built everything and all this stuff. What are you talking about? They're like, hey, you better shut up, mister. Normal's bad. And then we're like, yeah, okay, man, it's cool, right? Because they're saying, stop trying to kill us, right? You're bad and evil. And we're like, no, we're not bad and evil. Look how nice we are. We'll back off again. And so fringe, folks, pushes through all of these things. And then it says, hey, normal people, you saw us. We came out. We made you accept us. We got special privileges. We kept you from criticizing us, and now we're coming for your children. And America's like, well, is now the time? Should we finally stand up to this? Anyone? And people are so coward that they're backing down. Now they're no longer even willing to defend what they know is to be right. And so they've come after our children. The best time to kill a black widow spider? the moment you see it, or it starts demanding to be allowed. Right? You don't invite a coyote into your house and say, look, you look kind of like us, or these other dogs we got. You look kind of like my dogs. Think I'll let you stay for a little while. See how this works out. Pretty soon you look around and your dogs are all gone. They've been eaten and replaced with more fucking coyotes. You wake up one morning and there's a bite of meat missing from your ass because something bit you and took it. You're like, hey, who bit me in the ass? The coyotes are like, what are you talking about, man? It's not even your house anymore. Coyotes bite, folks, because that's what coyotes do. Fruitcakes, folks, and perverts, they don't have just a little bit. They want to go all the way. The same with politicians. They don't want a little bit of power. They want it all. You give them a little bit of authority and they create more for themselves. The best time to stop despotic government and tyranny is the second you see it. I've seen it for years and I've been fighting it, folks. People are waking up. Help them see the truth. Get them to come to the prepared mind right up here. They can see a stupid little story the way I just illustrated that. With the fruitcake movement, with coyotes in your home, or with a black widow spider as described. Right? You let one mouse into the house, pretty soon you're infested. How about fleas? Does that work too? Right? It just takes one. And then before you know it, you're overrun. Wow. Folks, Target, the company Target. They had good old Beelzebub on pink t-shirts saying, I recognize your special pronouns. I respect you, and I'm Satan. I approve this message. What a bunch of crap. Folks, Target has also created a partnership. The way Budweiser created a partnership with Dylan Mulvaney that has only cost $15.7 billion, Target has partnered with a controversial group. They call themselves an education group. But what this group promotes, folks, is gender transition for students, children, without parental consent. Folks, this is shocking, but it's not surprising that Target has done this. Folks, everything woke is 100% anti-decency, anti-morality, anti-American. I can't look at anything that the woke movement wants and say, well, that's a good idea. We need to take unqualified people and put them on corporate boards so that everyone is represented. They are overrepresented. You shouldn't be put on a board. You shouldn't be given executive control of any company, anywhere, of any size, unless you have experience and successful experience at that. Right? You shouldn't be allowed into a company and absolutely destroy it for 5 years, then leave and go to another company and say, hey, I got 5 years executive experience. I'd be like, yeah, fucking up. Get the fuck out of here. Woke is anti-decency and it's anti-American, folks. Target is partners with a group that wants to deny parental rights, and promote kids castrating and sterilizing themselves and doing it in school on top of that. All right, I've said my piece. What do you guys want to talk about? We got 5 minutes left in the show. Who is up next? We got Kelly RVA. And she says, July 4th is my favorite day. That'd piss me off. Yeah, if they took down everything that we have, 4th of July, I think that's what it would be about. It would be about pissing us off. And other countries, it would satisfy them. They'd be like, how do you like that, America? How do you feel about your freedom now, America? How good is your Declaration of Independence now, America? Because you're not willing to defend it. And folks, most Americans are not. Most Americans don't realize that the signers of the Declaration of Independence, which was signed on July 4th, aka Independence Day, 1776, they were attacked, destroyed, imprisoned, sued, screwed over, assassinated, ruined all of those families. They tried it. The English went after everybody. The 4th of July is about standing up and telling tyrants, go fuck yourselves. It's not about just fireworks, folks. Fireworks represent the explosions and the explosiveness of the American spirit in the face of their enemies. That's what the fireworks is supposed to represent. The battles against tyranny, the battles against scumbags, the battles against government corruption and lies, the battle against being held captive in your own country. That's right, folks. American colonists were captive in their own country by the Brits. And today, we're captive in our own country by the egg-sucking Democrat socialists, the rhino Republican scumbags, the corporate wokeocracy that is here. We're captive to that. And if we don't do what they want, they'll take away everything they can, folks. Everything they can. Do you get it? Do you see it? The 4th of July is coming, folks. And every year of my life, I think about the 4th of July. What it means. Right? What it means. I think this year on the 4th of July, I'll read it top to bottom again for everyone to hear, even the bad parts that sound racist against Native Americans. Well, folks, think of Native Americans as at that time who were willing to accept money. They were sellouts. The same way law enforcement today is willing to ignore the Constitution, which is shining the light of truth in their face. And they're like, no, we don't want to see the truth. We want our paycheck. Washington, D.C. Metro Police, FBI, bunch of fucking sellouts. And what makes it worse is they know better. They know what the law is, especially the FBI. They know what the Constitution is, especially the FBI. They know what the Declaration of Independence is, especially the FBI. But when they talk about it, they say, you know, the founding fathers, if they were alive today, they'd be considered terrorists. Well, yeah, of course, because you always besmirch your enemy and call them the terrorists. The same way Joe Biden, the same way Merrick Garland, the same way Christopher Wray of the FBI. Look at parents out there who oppose school boards, who want children to have their genitals cut off. Those are domestic terrorists. I have no doubts, folks. I have no doubts. They think you're that stupid. We're not. We're not. Folks, let me tell you, let me end it on this. You want some fucking fireworks? How about some more World War III stupidity? The United States and England and others are provoking World War III. Ukraine is using American, British, and other weapons to hit targets inside of Russia. Our weapons that have been supplied there are hitting Russian targets. Right? In addition to the maritime drone attack. That's right. Using drone boats, Ukraine has attacked Russian Navy again. There's also been an across the Russian border military incursion into the Belgorod region using U.S. supplied weapons and vehicles, which were, by the way, absolutely obliterated. They have launched artillery and HIMARS rockets at Russian civilian populations along the border. They have attacked Kremlin, folks. Their Washington, D.C., their Pentagon. They've attacked the Kremlin with drones twice. They've used British missiles also, folks, to hit targets in Russia. Now, they haven't won anything with these attacks, but there is a huge tide of anger that's developing in Russia. Is Ukraine doing this on its own, is what I'm asking? Or is it DC and the European Union demanding that Ukraine attacks Russia with our weapons, or we're going to cut them off and stop supporting them and giving them money? Or is it Volodymyr Zelensky demanding that weapons be given to him so he can attack Russia, or he'll just surrender? And the United States, European Union, and World Economic Forum scumbags lose all that they have invested, which is money they stole from us, but they lose all those investments in the future, and they lose their money laundering operation. So whether it's Zelensky pulling their chain or our government's pulling Zelensky's chain, Russia's getting tired of being attacked. And it's escalating the tension and escalating the hatred. And remember, right now, weapons are being distributed. It's like a bar fight. And maybe I'll read the bar fight story about World War I and World War II, which is a satirical expose on how shit goes down. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. I'll be back Sunday night live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. I'll be back for Sunday Night Live. I hope you join me. Tell others to come, because we're going to have a hell of a discussion. I wonder what's going to happen on Memorial Day weekend. The news may be silent, or the news may be off the hook. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours.